Well, hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be painting another boat. And I'm excited to do that. I've been really enjoying the nautical theme paintings, and yeah, I'm just kind of looking forward to getting back into it. So, yeah, this is honestly, I don't know a lot about ships, but it's a sailing ship with actually four sails. And it's got some very pretty water. I really love images where the reflections are great. So I think this will be one of those. Yeah, I'm just going to get into it. I might try something a little bit new. I think I'm going to try using wax a little bit earlier in the process on this one. So we'll see. Let's see how it goes. So yeah, for this image, it's actually a very light image overall, with some nice dark accents that sort of bring it all together. But the sky is very light and the water's very light. And I've got a little strip of land, and I've got the hull of the ship and the masts, and a whole bunch of people that I'm probably going to include to some degree. And then these great turquoise reflections below. Yeah, so I'm thinking I might actually try and work the sky with some wax right away, and actually the sky and the water, and then kind of move in toward the details on the boat and possibly scrape away some of that wax as I'm forming the boat. We'll see. All right. And something else that's pretty cool is I got a bunch of new knives, so I might try out some of these for textures here and there. It's funny, this was a pretty inexpensive set. But when I saw all the crazy shapes, I was like, oh, I gotta try this. So I have crazy shaped knives now. I'm not going to start with them though. Yeah, let's give this a try. Okay. So I'm going to start by mixing up a few colors. I'm going to mix up a teal, kind of sort of reflection shadowy color, a light blue, and then probably a white, all with wax to start with. So let's do just white and wax first. Try and grab some clean stuff over there. Get a light blue. I'm gonna use cobalt for my blue in this. Sometimes it's easier to see it up on the board. Sometimes down on the palette it doesn't quite show how light or dark it will be. It's probably because my lighting's not exactly the same. I think that's gonna work though. Goes on really thick, but I'm not really trying to get a really thick layer to start with. Kind of spreading it on nice and smooth. I want it to look pretty even. This sky is not a very dramatic sky, so I don't need it to have a ton of texture. That's why I'm using this like rounded knife too. Make up a lot of that. Do a slightly darker version for a little higher up. Let's see. That might be a little too dark. And smoothing it out. Yeah, I think that's going to be interesting. I'm curious about scratching away, being able to put my shapes in. I get a nice layer first. Benefit to doing like the thin layer is you kind of get to move on to the fun stuff faster. I always kind of like coming back and doing the sky, but sometimes I feel like it's kind of like creates a lot of obstacles too to get in and around. So I was thinking if I could put it in first, then I could put everything else in front of it. Go a little bit lighter. As I move down. funny. Sometimes I feel like I go through a lot of paint very quickly, and sometimes I feel like I put out way too much, and then it feels like a waste too. But better not to think about it, I think. Pretty nice fade there. A wiggle kind of makes it, and it feels like it's sort of blending in a little bit better, but also going on a little bit thinner, so you can put a lot of pressure into it. I do like this wax texture for the sky a lot, though. It sort of dries to like a, it's kind of satiny even right now, but it dries to like a really lovely satin. Stopped to check for a second, made sure I had the camera rolling. It's been a while since I made that mistake, but somehow I feel like changing process made me question it. A nice way to smooth it all out. These nice long sort of streaks in the texture would be a lot harder to do if I had a boat in the way. Let's see what happens when I have a boat. It's pretty cool though. I like that. I like that sky. All right. Then I've got some water, a strip of land. Might as well get those in too, right? So, for my little land, I'm gonna do kind of a purple. Alizarin came on kind of strong. Much more blue in there. Pretty close. Maybe just a little lighter. Mostly worrying about this top edge of this. I like how it's kind of mixing into the sky. Bottom I'm going to cover up with the water soon. Okay. Looks pretty good. Nice, okay. Then I need, let's see, a slightly greener white. Throw a little bit of Viridian in this and see what it does. Probably a little too dark. Let's switch knives a second. It's one of these longer ones for working on this water line. A little bit of white, a little bit of this teal. Let's see. Does that look level to you? it looks pretty good to me. I could probably measure these. I'm really actually kind of good at getting them right though. Let's see. It's pretty close. Let's see. Actually, let's look away the top of it. Yeah, alright. Don't need to measure. Trying to smooth this out. This is going to be interesting. We'll find out soon if it was all a terrible idea. This knife has a nice amount of flex to it, so it's kind of good for making sort of wavy shapes. It tends to kind of go straight too when you drag it. Okay. Mix up some. Let's see. It's going to be a pretty dark one. We'll do Viridian and wax. Let's see where that lands for now. Okay. Mix a darker blue here. Not really dark, but just another tone for over here. Another color for my crazy backwards painting. okay. I think it might work. not completely convinced, but mixing a little yellow ochre. That's actually a pretty good color for the sail reflections. At least as a base. Can do more with it in a minute. Time to put a boat in. Might be close. Let's see. I don't feel like I need to finish up these little areas yet. I think. For the most part, I'll probably end up going back into them anyway. But whatever. I'll cover them up so they're not white, I guess. I think I smile more in the videos where I have no idea what I'm doing, or feel like I don't have any idea what I'm doing. So maybe that's a benefit. Okay. It's looking like something. I'm not gonna worry about this. This is very close to white here anyway, so. Maybe I will. Just to kind of fill it in. Do more with it after. Do you feel like I have this benefit of being able to go right up to these edges where I'm expecting the hull to be? And not worry about messing up something important, which is kind of nice. Okay. Alright, let's mix up a color for the hull. I think it's going to be pretty dark. I'm going to go alizarin and viridian to start. And I'm actually not going to add wax to this yet. I'm going to just let it go on a little bit smoother, I think. And a little shinier too. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to go a little bit lighter. more alizarin. Almost like a mahogany color. That's pretty. Okay, let's try that. Probably go even a little lighter than that. Let's do a little cat yellow. See what that does. That will lighten it up. Yeah, that looks nice. Quite good. Okay. See if I can make the shape I want here. Alright, I'll pretty up that shape in a little bit, but for now, I think it's pretty close. And then I've got a couple of stripes actually on the side of this. This is going to be kind of challenging. Let's see. I think this color will work here though. There we go. I think that's about right. It might not be perfect, but I think it will be a good looking boat. Where this is mixing with the previous layer a little bit, it's coming in a little bit lighter, but actually that works for me here because it's actually getting a little bit more light on it too. I also just realized I'm very lucky that one of the stripes on this boat is a light blue that actually matches the water pretty well, so I might end up getting away with that easier than I expected. Okay. Okay, it's not too bad. Okay. We've got a blue stripe above a yellow stripe and a little strip of this red in between. I might have to simplify that. It is just a little wild. I don't think I'm going to be able to pull it off with this knife for sure. Let's skip it for now. Okay, come back to that. So I've got a mast about here. Goes pretty much straight up. And it is about as long as the boat, including the bow. Let's see. Maybe to about here. I'm thinking. Yeah, I think that's right. Alright, let me take this dark that I made. And take a deep breath. And I'm gonna do this. Okay. And then I have a mast. At least the start of one. Okay. completely. Okay. That's okay. So I'm gonna do, so I've got a sail that comes down here and connects onto this bow. Alright, so I'm gonna put that in. It's kind of avoiding it, but I think it's time. Nice, okay. Now I've gotta go from here to here. Little little mix there. It'll make it good though, don't worry. It'll come together. I actually want to use the other edge of the knife. See if it slips a little bit on the sky side, that's worse. On the sail side I haven't really painted anything yet, so just let's see, tiny bit of cleanup here. Very carefully. Okay. That'll work. And I gotta go from here to here. That's gonna work, right? Okay. Maybe I should put my other mast in. Here to about here, I think. Yeah. Well, it's there. Alright, and I've got a sail. Alright. How's this gonna work? Okay. Get the tops of a couple of sails too. So this one about like that. I think that looks good. And the other one is about parallel to it. And just a little bigger. That's pretty good too. Let's see. And then I've got, this is kind of coming down here. And across and across. All right. Kind of like imagining a grid in a way. Let's go like this. I think that's about right there. I think this one is about right here. Cool, okay. It actually comes out a little bit further. Alright. Okay. A little bit lighter for this edge of the sail because I don't really want to have to deal with a dark color on that edge there. I think a little bit of burnt sienna maybe. And let's see, not light enough. Now that I mix this white in, I think it is. Okay. Alright. And then I've got a similar one over here. It's gonna go from here to here. Okay. little shadow in as well. There's a little shadow up at the top too. Obviously there's more to do there, but okay. I don't know, I'm feeling like it might work. Okay, let's see. So this sail actually goes in front, but it's actually the way it's lit. You can see the one behind it through it, so I'm just trying to think of how to get it in place. I guess we'll put the bottom of that one in, which is a little bit more blue first. It actually covers up the bottom of this mast right here. It's kind of billowing out, I guess. Okay. I'm trying to keep the paint on my knife kind of nice and flat and thin, just because I don't want it to do big globs. There we go, okay. That's about right. And then I've got the other sail, which is down here. That one ties off there, so it's just like that. Normally I'm not big on outlining things, but these are so geometric that I think if I don't, they just will look too, like, round. Okay. I'll switch knives now. I think this one, probably been using it for, it's good for the straight lines. Yeah, let me come back to it, the rest. Switch to this one for a little bit. Cut into some of these little corners. This knife is really stiff, so it's, if you want to remove paint, it's a good one for that. Let's see. So now I'm gonna make it, got up a little bit titanium white. So I'm gonna mix up a color for my sails. So there's gonna be a few different colors in the sails. I think I'm gonna start bringing my wax back in too. So I'm gonna mix up kind of a middle gray right now. Or at least a gray that'll be sort of the middle tone of these. It sort of starts from this base that I used for the edges. The edges are darker probably because they have some kind of a seam or hemming, I guess. Let's see. So that's actually a pretty good tone for a lot of this. It's probably going to go on a little bit light anyway. Okay, I think that works. I think shapes like this are a great challenge. Do have to be a lot more careful not to mess up my sky. Just kind of trying to get the right values in there. This is very blocky looking right now, but basically got the shadows in the places I want them. Not mess up my lines. Alright. That's pretty good for that one. Let's see what to do. This one's about the same tones. I'm gonna move over here and give it a try. I'm noticing that this little gap is too big, and I'm trying to decide if I just let it be or if I try to fix it. I'll let it be for now. Not sure if it's something that will ultimately matter. Okay. So I've got this is an awkward one here. So this like this darker triangle where there's a shadow. that's starting to work. Okay. And here I've got sort of similar blue, but it's a little lighter. Okay. That's working. Okay, great. I need a lighter, much lighter value down here. Don't want this blue. Scrape it off. Okay, I think that's kind of working. This area of sail is basically the same color as the sky, but I don't want it to carry on the sky texture. So I'm gonna just drift the knife down, over smudge it a little bit. I think I can fix that. Take this little round knife and see if I can smooth it out the right amount. Hoping my head's not covering this whole thing. Looking pretty good. I think I'm going to try and smooth out with this one that seems to be working well. Keep it going. that was just a little scary. Okay. Probably need a little bit more of that color. Or something like it. Good little knife for getting into tight spots. And for blending. All right, it's coming along okay. Now what about these people in the boat? I'm gonna see. I don't know if I need all of them. Maybe I need a break. Let's see. I've never really tried to paint like a crowd, I don't think. So I always kind of just like put a couple individuals. I'm gonna try and give the effect of multiple people looking off of here. Maybe not too many. It doesn't have to be quite as crowded as it is in the picture. That worked pretty good, actually. A little bit of stuff on board, whatever this is. can get this yellow stripe on there. Not quite that yellow. Let's see. Fix a little bit of this green, maybe. Yeah, it's a little bit more dull. That works. Okay. A little bit messy. Like I've been so focused that I'm like ending up covered in paint, and it's okay, I guess. I think I'm actually pretty happy with where this is going right now, though. I'm going to try and clean up a little bit of texture, and then think about being at a stopping point for a little bit. Just need to flatten that out a little bit. I think it's too lumpy to get the line straight right now. There we go. Now that I have this hull in here, I can be a little bit more specific with this reflection too. It's coming along, okay. Okay, right in here, this reflection needs to be quite a bit darker. But I like that it has that sort of viridian shimmer underneath it right now. Okay. Getting rid of these tiny blobs here. They're just bothering me. I don't want to mess up the sky texture over them, but I also don't want them to be there. That worked. That worked better than I thought it was going to. Let's see. Really get rid of it a little bit more. Just like moving the knife very, very lightly and over a small area. And then trying to clean it. That works pretty well. Cleaned it up so nicely, and then I just made another one. Let's see. That's better. Smooth this out just a little bit here too. Some of these lines I don't want to be too distracting in the sky. Okay. All right. Fill in a bit more of this water. Where it's the brightest and almost white. Snack. Tiny bit of this. Okay. I haven't even used any of the new knives yet. I don't know if I'm going to. I might check it out. I don't know if I need them for this one. I think it's got a nice simplicity to it. Just looking for see a little extra light. Smooth this out though. I don't want this standing really tall. I didn't get. I was thinking all of this area was going to get covered up with the boat. So I have this blue here. But really. It should continue. Back out. really tempted to mess with this, but I really shouldn't. Yeah, that's better. I'm digging it. Okay. Okay. Looks better. It's kind of these like reinforcements on the sails. I think that's what they are anyway. It's funny how these, just adding these little details, it's kind of like makes the sail look so much more transparent. Because you can tell. At least I think it's working. Okay. Looks pretty good. Get that mast a little bit more thickness. It's better. I think I could do the other one too. Preferably without making a mess. That works. Okay. It's like everything I do on this, I feel like I just got away with something. A couple people lost their heads over here. Okay. Looks that. That wasn't how I meant to do that. Let's fix that up a bit. It's supposed to be a nice light line. And there we go. That's better. Okay. All right, I'm gonna give it a little break. Probably come back and do a little bit more. I think it's pretty close. I don't think I wanna go too crazy on it, but yeah. All right, I'll be back in a minute. All right, and I'm back. So I feel like I've given this a couple days to just kind of think about it and also to dry a little bit. And I'm actually pretty happy with it. I think I'm going to make a few small adjustments. Mostly in the way of refinements. There are some things in this that are not perfect, but I think that I'm going to let them mostly be at this point. And just kind of refine a few details and yeah, kind of bring it to a conclusion. The main thing I think I'd like to see a little bit more of is I'd like to see the sails feel a little bit more illuminated. Yeah, just kind of bring an overall glow to it, which I think right now the color of this lighter part of the sail is a little bit too gray, and I think that if I make it a little yellower, there's just a little bit more golden, it'll actually give the effect of the light coming through. So I'm gonna start there mainly. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. This is pretty much dry now too, which is nice. Should be a little less messy to work back into. Okay. Take a little bit of yellow ochre and a little bit of cad yellow. I'm gonna kind of overshoot this yellow to start. Some titanium. Actually mix up a little bit of a purple tone, which I'm going to use some alizarin and some cobalt. Just because yellow is the opposite of purple, so I can use a little bit of this to dull the yellow down, but I don't want it to get away from me and make it too dark either. Just a teeny bit. Let's try this. Actually pretty nice. Okay. Could be a little bit lighter, I think. little too bright. I'm trying to decide if it's too bright in the good way or too bright in a bad way. I think I'm gonna try it just a little. That's a lot darker. I like how this is working. feel like that gives the effect of like some wind. Just gives the sails a little bit more volume. I think especially with knife painting, you have a tendency to have to layer a little bit more just to build up the shapes that you want. And that's all well and good, except that sometimes it means that you end up with so much paint that everything just starts mixing around too much. And it's best to take a break and come back at it later. It was worth it for this one. I like this, the extra warmth in the sails coming through now. It's nice. If I had tried to put these warm tones in over all the blues and grays the other day, I just don't think they would have worked. They would have just turned all mucky. There we go. I'm liking that a lot more, actually. A little bit of the same value in the reflection here. Here we go. Okay. No, that one really looks like it's puffing out more. good. I'm pretty happy about all the overall values at this point. I think I'm mainly just going to try to sharpen up a couple details. Not even, I don't want to get overly detailed with it, but just want to get a couple of these areas where I feel like things should be a little bit more crisp. liking that. Let's see. Yeah. I think I like it now. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night or whatever you're off to next.